I'm here with Mike Tack, filmmaker, horror master extraordinaire.
Yeah, sick bastard.
We're actually just on the set of a music video that Mike's directing, and I'm going to talk to Mike about The Thing.
The Thing, my most favourite film of all time, bar none, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely love that film. I saw it in the 80s, obviously, when it came out. Was it 84?
No, 82.
82, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to my
E2.
local Odeon, and I'd heard about this film because I've been a big fan of John Carpenter's work up till then anyway. I saw it and I was gobsmacked. Absolutely blew me away, and I think I went to see it another 2 or 3 times because in those days you didn't have videos, and you know you couldn't wait for that thing to come out on TV. It'd be probably about 20 years before they even allowed that on telly. So yeah, I love the movie. I got it on Blu-ray recently with the, you know, you get the remake, or sorry, the prequel, which was pretty decent enough, but the Blu-ray copy of The Thing looks stunning. The effects look absolutely incredible.
It looks great. I mean, it's a film that hasn't aged badly at all.
Not one bit.
Well, there is the stop motion. The stop motion at the end is
it's a bit Ray Harryhausen hokey, isn't it? Yeah.
Compared to everything else that's in the film, it does kind of stand out, but you forgive it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the fact that I've seen footage where they used a lot more of that, and it looked far worse than what they used.
Absolutely. I think they did a little bit of it with the tentacle, and then they cut to the actual, you know, Rob Bottin monstrosity, which had every single person that had been absorbed by the Thing, as I recall. So I like the Jaws type effect where you see the floorboards start smashing up and things like that. That's so cool.
Effect that I saw in another film years later, Tremors.
Yeah, absolutely, because that was a low budget horror monster movie. Kevin Bacon, while he was still young and footloose and fancy free. Sorry for the pun.
I think he'd done Footloose by then.
Yeah, and another great monster movies. And as you know, I love monster movies, and I'm sort of indulging in a couple of them myself. So,
as a filmmaker, what's the influence of The Thing?
The influence of The Thing, for me, is the fact that you need to have a good story. We all know everyone says you've got to have a good story, but that script and the ensemble cast, was really impressive. And, you know, a lot of my films don't have many women in, so The Thing had not one female, which is probably why they decided to put one in the prequel, just to be politically correct. But
there was a woman in The Thing from Another Planet.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Is that the 50s one?
The 50s one, yeah. The Howard Hawks one, yeah.
That's it. And, but that's the thing. I keep saying The Thing. That's
the thing about The Thing.
Yeah, the thing about The Thing is my love of special effects, being practical special effects, is one of the outstanding things about the movie, and I've taken that away with me. I love John Carpenter. As to whether it's influenced me in filming, I've probably looked at the behind the scenes of how they do effects on movies, and you know, something that you need to be aware of if you're shooting them in your own films. So I don't know, I just think it's a complete package. I mean, you look at the flying saucer at the beginning. I mean, that's a really good flying saucer. That stands up today. And I love the way the story develops. It's a bit like a who, not instead of who done it, it's who is it. And the way that they have twists and things. Oh, there's a forklift truck. The way they have twists in it, like you don't know who to trust. I really like that concept. I think that's the thing. I mean, the actors in it as well. I mean, the actors were phenomenal.
Now, the first time you watched it, had you figured out who was The Thing and who wasn't?
No way, not at all. And I still think the film leaves it open-ended, so no one knows. Actually, the thing that I noticed the most was that my jaw hit the floor when the dog's head split apart.
Yeah.
I was like whoa, fuck me, that is incredible. I hope that dog didn't suffer much afterwards. It was that realistic. And then it all kicks off with the tentacles and all the mouths within mouths, and it's like, wow. And then you're off, you know.
Well, I thought the thing that comes towards Charles was a flower.
Yeah,
it looks like a flower.
Organic,
but it's dog's tongues with dog's teeth.
Correct. And I didn't realise that, but if you look on the Blu-ray, you can see it now. Maybe in the cinema in the old days, you know, we could have a fag and, you know, you could watch softcore porn movies if you didn't want to watch that, you know. Queue up and let the old woman on the counter ask your age, and then you try and put on a deep voice, and then someone shouts out, I didn't know they let the school bus in this week. And then you shrink down in the chair. I mean, that wasn't I'm obviously not speaking from personal experience, but it was just a tour de force. And the music, I mean, that's something which is, I think I don't know whether it was a game changer, but the minimalist nature of the music that created such an atmosphere. Obviously, Jaws was that 76 or 74 was Jaws?
76.
Yeah. That, you know, signature tune is just a couple of notes repeated, and the similar, I believe, to me it sounds like a space version of the Jaws music, that sort of dun dun, or a heartbeat or something.
I mean, it's funny that it was written by Ennio Morricone, because it sounds like everything else that John Carpenter had done up to that point.
Absolutely, because that's something I admire about John Carpenter, and as a filmmaker myself, is because I've written music for my own films, and he did that a lot in his early days. He did the classic Halloween score, Escape from New York, and you know.
I just wonder though if Ennio Morricone had written another score, which they didn't use, because it very much sounds in places not like his music.
Yeah, it sounds like John Carpenter goes, oh no, I'm not using that shit, Morricone, I'm going to put my own stuff in, yeah.
Well, I've just listened to two films, well, I've watched two films which have Ennio Morricone soundtracks on them.
Well, Westerns, were they?
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. But that he has a certain sound. I mean, you know, he likes using harmonicas, he likes using...
he doesn't use synths, basically.
No, they're all sort of, I would say, better word, practical instruments.
Yeah,
there's nothing electronic to it.
Yeah, he likes using weird, obscure stuff as well, which is it's a thing with him. But yeah, it's all intents and purposes.
Panpipes he uses a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why
he's the only one.
That's why the Thing soundtrack is like really different in his body of work.
I think John Carpenter must have given him a lot of hints on that one, I think. Or maybe Morricone was clever, looked at all of his previous work and thought, I'll do something similar because I've been given the gig, because obviously Carpenter was too busy because it was a big budget at the time. Wasn't this one of the biggest budget films he had?
Up to that point.
Was that before or after Starman? Because that was a big budget as well, wasn't it?
That was before. Because he did Christine and Starman in between The Thing and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China actually was the bigger of the two budgets when it comes to those two.
All right. I mean, it sort of makes me, I mean, I shot my recent film, some footage at late night in the woods, and it's been quite, it's April, really sunny, but it made me think, God, imagine being in that freezing cold snow and having to shoot film and get everything organised. What a bloody nightmare that would have been.
It got worse when they went back to the studio. It was the height of summer.
That's right, yeah.
And they had to, get dressed up as if they're in the winter. I believe the sets were refrigerated.
They were.
Because that was a trick that they used to do.
Exorcist, they did that on, didn't they?
Exactly, so they could get breath.
Show, yeah.
And so, a lot of the people in that film must have got the flu because they're going from extreme cold to extreme heat.
So, if you think about it, you've got the effects. I know Bottine worked night and day on, and you've got the great characters played by Kurt Russell and one of my other favourite actors. I can't remember him now. The African fella. So he was in They Live. I can't remember his name. Sorry, I apologise if he's listening. Yeah, what's his name? Because he's brilliant. He is a fucking brilliant actor.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Keith David. I remembered. So yeah, Keith David is. I love him in the other Carpenter film, which I absolutely adore, which is They Live.
Oh, let's talk about They Live, because that was a film that we didn't get to, and I have to say it was one of my choices for movie heaven, but I went with Big Trouble in Little China just because I'm just a bigger fan of that film.
I wouldn't have stuck Big Trouble in Little China in there above They Live, mate. No way.
That's what makes us different.
Yeah, that's right. And you are different, Simon. But They Live is awesome. I met Roddy Piper last year, or the year before last, actually. I met Roddy Piper at Denver when I had a film screening there. And the wrestler fella, and he's great. And he was high on something when he was having the Q&A there.
Really?
Him and Meg Foster. I met Meg Foster. She gave me a free autograph. I didn't have to pay. Which is one of these weird things they do in America. You go to sign an autograph and they say, $20, and they'll go sign the picture. Do they?
They do it here. You go to conventions.
I know you do it. I know you charge people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got to make a living.
I know you
I'm not making a living out of making films.
Queue up, get a free picture of Jesus. AKA Simon Aitken. 20 quid.
And you get a free blessing with that.
Nice, well. You get sent to heaven for free. So They Live. Oh, what a great story! But for me, it's got the best. You can keep your Tony Jars on backs in the raids. Although I do like raid 1 and 2, but the fight scene in the back alley between Roddy Piper and Keith David, to me, is just great. And the fact you've got a wrestling person choreographing it really comes across as a really brutal, dirty street fight.
It does, yeah.
And it's humorous as well.
Have you seen the homage that South Park did it?
No.
That was funny.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, but it was with 2 disabled people doing it.
Oh, excellent.
Sorry, I don't watch South Park too much. You probably know the characters better than me. But the other thing that's great about that film is the concept. The idea that aliens are here and they're hiding amongst us.
And that they're rich. And can be despised.
They were alien yuppies, weren't they?
That's right.
Because back in, it was late 80s, the height of the Reagan era. And it was, that whole consumerism going on. I mean, it's just a lovely, simple idea. The fact that when you put these sunglasses on, you can see the world for what it really is.
And the subliminal advertising thing, and showing the money and saying this is your God. That is just, it's so
the advert cool. With the girl on the beach, and when he puts glasses on, it says
it's something like
marry and multiply.
Marry and multiply. That's it. Yeah. Watch TV. Yeah. It's awesome. And I mean, the budget on that, I don't think was. I know the music was done by Carpenter, and was it Howarth?
James Howarth, yeah.
James Howarth, yeah.
Which he did a lot of the music with. He did it with my favourite, Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, did he? Right, nice. But that's a really cool track. I mean, so Carpenter's films for me they're low budget films that seem to always exceed their budget in scope, and to me that's a sign of an independent filmmaker. Where you're always having to try and use whatever locations you have in creative ways and find clever ways to try and do something. And I think there's a lot of that, especially Carpenter's early work. I mean, recently, he's getting on a bit, but obviously for me, when Ghosts of Mars first appeared, that was a sign of the end. But I think you get a lot of this with these independent directors.
What do you think it is? Well, why do you think his work has really slipped now? And it does feel like he is not trying.
He's either run out of ideas, or the only way he can get the money to make something is if he makes something shit that someone's got a story for, some producer thinks will be good, they attach his name to it, and it's almost like he turns up and does a day job. I don't think he's invested personally like he was in the early days, because if you do your own music and you write your own stories and you shoot it and all the rest of it yourself, you're invested in it, aren't you? So, and you want it to be good. I mean, I think the last decent film I saw from Carpenter probably was In the Mouth of Madness. I really enjoyed that.
I did. I saw it when it came out on video, and I have to say, it didn't really resonate with me that much. But I watched it again recently, and I loved it.
Yeah,
so
Prince of Darkness is another one of my
Prince
favourites.
of Darkness is great. To this day, Prince of Darkness still kind of freaks me out, especially the whole stuff with the mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. It had Alice Cooper in it, using a bicycle to impale someone.
That's right.
Which I think he used on one of his tours, actually.
That's correct. Because it's a gag of his, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So they used that for the film because it was there, it was available, and it was something they didn't have to build or put money into.
The funny thing about that film, Prince of Darkness, is that you look at it and everywhere seems like that everyone's hiding. There's no one out. It's always desolate. There's no one around apart from these old folks. And he probably shot it like a lot of films we shoot, on where we are now, on some crappy old industrial estate. But there's just there is that sense of doom, which is pervading the whole thing. I mean, the building looks strange. You got all these. Well,
it's part of his unofficial trilogy called the Armageddon trilogy,
right?
Which started off with The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and then ends with In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah, well, that's a good trilogy if you ask me. If someone put that on a triple bill, I'd watch that.
Yeah,
good solid films. I mean, The Fog, another good solid film, and he. I mean, Halloween was his real calling card. Although, I was with him before then. I mean, the remake of Rio Bravo, which was called Assault on Precinct 13. That's awesome as well. But they're low budget, but they're awesome low budget films. They're not. Oh, that's a low budget film, so we've got to make excuses for it.
Well, the nice thing about Assault on Precinct 13 is it's a one location bound film.
Yeah.
And he just uses that location to the extreme.
Absolutely. And that's a good way of getting production value out of your money. All the car park scenes, they're just like normal car parks with bushes around them and things like that. Just dull down the light a bit, so a few people probably with some plastic toy guns and some sound effects, and away you go. And that's the indie filmmaker all over.
Yeah.
I mean, my recent Western horror I bought these guns for £3, plastic things with little red caps on them, and I got Tim, the makeup guy, to just, dust them over and make them look antique, if you like.
Well, that's good, because I've seen too many low-budget films where it's clear they went down to the local toy shop to get them, because for a start, too small, especially rifles.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking when the rifles are about the size of a pistol. And you're thinking,
well, we had a real replica one for the main character, and that was heavy. That's a Peacemaker replica, I think.
Oh, nice.
But
I'm just saying, you wonder what's going through these people's minds when they pick these little toys up and go, that'll do. Nobody will notice. On screen it'll look big. No.
Well, I made sure that I didn't focus on those. If someone's pointing a gun at you, then all you're seeing is the barrel anyway, so that's fine. But going back to Carpenter, I really like his early, all of his films. Ghosts of Mars was I think maybe that was the time when the studio thing did what they always do, which is they crush talent by imposing deadlines. And I heard was it Keith that told me it started off as something else?
Yes, that's right. We spoke about this on the podcast. The fact that it was originally going to be a Snake Plissken story, was going to be Escape from Mars,
right?
And because Escape from LA flopped,
well, that was pretty bad. I must say, I was disappointed with that film.
Though I loved the ending. I thought the ending was great.
I can't remember the ending now. What happens?
Spoiler.
Yeah.
The ending is that it's like the original, where there's a switcheroo. So he's got the device that can turn off anything.
Yeah.
And he's going to he's got the world code that will plunge the whole world back into darkness.
Yeah.
And of course, what turns out is that Plissken actually has it. And you think, oh well, shoot the bastard, and then it turns out it's actually a hologram, and he's somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it was really well done. I mean, it just stood out from the rest of the film.
It had some hokey effects with him surfing, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
That's almost on the
the
par with
CGI in it is terrible.
The James Bond, remember the James Bond Die Another Day, where
Yes.
his bloody parachutes off an iceberg or something? That looks so pony, it's ridiculous.
With the invisible car.
Yeah, I mean...
And the satellite with diamonds in it that shoots the
maybe
laser
we
beam.
could chart John Carpenter's career in parallel with the Bond films, you know. They start off fairly decent with GoldenEye, and then by the time they get to the end, they've just turned to a big, massive pile of shit.
Oh, yeah, if you're talking about the Brosnan area.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Bond didn't start off with GoldenEye.
Yeah, well, and then you got... I thought Timothy Dalton was all right, but that's another conversation. So... the thing is, the best film, it's the best horror film bar none. All this thing, The Exorcist now, or Shining now, fuck off. The Thing is the bollocks, and it's got amazing effects. The ensemble cast are so impressive, and it's humorous. You know, the fact that the alien actually is going in through their shorts makes me think, what the hell was going on there? That. What man's put his dirty drawers in the kitchen linen basket? You know, there's a big hole in these pants. You think, what the hell's going on? I know they're all men in one place, but that's a bit disturbing. You know. So that's pretty. That could be the most disturbing thing in the film, you know. And that's the way the thing enters you, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Well, if that's the case, I think they just skirted around that issue.
Yeah. But again, it was good. And also the confined alleyways and the bloke on the roller skates skating through, and they've got this sealed off haunted house, really, is what it turns into. You know? And the great little scenes where the bloke comes to the door and you get this shadowy, globby shape just run past with a bit of classic music, you know.
Right, this is a question I forgot to ask Keith. Well, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
So, you know there's the character that burns himself alive? There's like the second scientist with glasses.
Yeah, it's the one with glasses. His name was... hold on, we'll get back to that in a second. I'll find it. You've got Childs.
No, it's not Childs.
No.
And it's not Blair.
Blair.
I can never remember his name. He's always the one that's going, but Blair knew what was going on. We need Blair.
Yeah. Well, go on. What was the question about him?
Because
they found his glasses, didn't they?
They found his charred remains, didn't they, under the snow?
Yeah.
Now, who do you think he saw that made him burn himself alive? Because he didn't want to be taken over by the thing.
Well, I just think he saw a thing, and if I saw something like that coming towards me in the middle of nowhere, I think I'd burn myself to death as well. Or try to burn it.
I was just wondering which one it was. Because you were
trying to work out, like Cluedo, where was everyone when the murder happened?
Well, not really, because there's no way to tell.
It could be the guy...
Well, I personally think it's Blair.
Yeah, I think you're right, because he tunnelled his way out of that place, didn't he?
That's right. Because he already was up in the...
That was a big surprise when I saw the film, the fact he had the noose and he was playing along that he was going to top himself and all the rest of it, and then you find out the sneaky thing had been digging holes underneath and actually trying to make a spaceship to get back home or something.
Well, this is the thing about Blair, was that he wasn't taken over... Immediately. No. It was a slower process with him, because if you notice, every time, when he's especially touching the first remains they brought back from the Norwegian camp, he kept putting his pencil into it and then he would tap it against his mouth. So he was being, because then you know when you see it on the computer screen where you see it being, so he, by tapping the pencil into his mouth, he didn't realise he was infecting himself.
Wasn't a very good surgeon or doctor, was he? Worrying about infection, shoving his pen into the guts of some remains that are dead.
Well, he wouldn't be a good doctor if he was carted all the way out to the...
Well, that's the thing. They were a motley crew of rejects and misfits, weren't they?
That's it. They all wanted away from the world.
Yeah.
You know, certainly Macready, he had his own shack.
Yeah. And he loved playing chess with that cheating bitch. It's definitely my movie heaven, that The Thing. And if you've never seen it, then you need to go and see it straight away. Get it on Blu-ray. It's amazing.
And the character's name was Fuchs.
That's the fella.
Fuchs, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point to end.
Yes, it is.
And we've got to go off and actually do some filming now.
But yes, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Simon. Been a pleasure, and hopefully we can do something.
Yeah, we'll get you on again for another episode. Yeah,
one of those other letters. You know the one I've got in mind.
Yes,
we'll keep that quiet for now.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we got to go back to work. But
right.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, extra. And
good.
Look out for our next episode coming next week. All right. Take care.